R2.
If you're looking for value for your vacation dollar, look no further than Florida's Sun Coast. If you're looking for value for your racing dollar, look no further than the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series. Coming up next on Speed Vision. This is a good look at the Tyco RC car known as the Mutator. Now, you won't see this baby on the racetrack, but you will see it on a regular basis in the paddock. Hello, everybody. I'm Derek Daly, and welcome to the sunshine of South Florida. Now, the inventor of this RC car is one of our drivers this afternoon, Neil Tilbor. Neil, come on now. Tell me, which is the profession and which is the hobby?
I work on Tyco RC toy cars. I play with my Spec Racer Ford.
Neil, you've been around this game since 1985, driven with drivers like Dorsey Schrader. Is it still as enjoyable as ever with these Spec Racers?
The Spec Racer Ford Series is as good as they come. It's so competitive because the cars are nearly equal.
They are indeed. There are many more stories here from the paddock, and with some of those, let's go to my colleagues, John Bisignano and David Hobbs.
SCCA Racing is full of great stories, and this is one of Mark Broyles, who drives this number 30 car. He drives a pizza truck delivery, and he also works for this team, the Lindell Racing team, in his spare time, and all the money he gets he uses to buy a drive in this car. This year, Mark, you've gone from the national racing to the professional series. Is that going to be tough?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this series is very, very competitive, and it's going to be hard stepping up out of the nationals. But I ran competitively last year, so I'm hoping to finish consistently in the top 10 and maybe take a couple trips to the podium.
And if you do, what about the money? Is that going to keep coming in?
I hope so. I hope so. I'm hoping to pick up a sponsor this year to help things out. I wanted to thank the Altoon and Lube and Darien because they helped me out this weekend, and I'm hoping to pick up a sponsor for the rest of the year.
Well, there you see another very optimistic driver in this type of racing. Let's go down to John Bisignano with more stories.
Well, David Hobbs, one man who knows his way around this bumpy St. Petersburg circuit is Chris Funk. Chris, you finished second here last year, one of the bumpiest circuits on the tour, and I must say you have one of the stiffest chassis I've ever felt. Why is that?
Well, I like the car to take a quick set and give me the feedback right now as to what it's going to do. The track is real bumpy, and out there in practice, a few guys caught the wall, but a lot of times we're just out there looking for ways around it during these sessions and trying to keep the car together to race.
Well, Chris Funk trying to go from a second-place finish last year to a victory this season.
Unfortunately for Chris Funk, after our interview, he had an incident that was severe enough to damage his car, and he is a non-starter here this afternoon. But on the pole, Robert Mumm, one of the Mumms brothers, Warren Stillwell beside him in the row 1, Keith Scharf and Leo Capaldi on row number 2, BJ Zacharias, row number 3 with James Goffrey, Mike Buck and Johnny Santo on row 4, and Mirigi and Neil Tilbor are on row 5. David?
Well, as usual, this racing promises to be incredibly close. No time at all separates pole from about 30 cars on here. Very, very evenly matched.
Yesterday's race was run by Leo Capaldi, and you see Leo in celebration mood there. This is a double-header race weekend. Leo Capaldi, who is now on our second row here because Chris Funk has gone. So he's already got one win for his weekend here. And these double-header weekends, really, David, are a big benefit to these type of cars. This is our onboard camera. This is car number 8. Car number 8, which is Warren Stillwell, one of the most successful drivers in this series. We do have 2 onboard cameras for you, Stillwell being one of them. You see his familiar red color. We also have the biocam on Warren Stillwell. We will monitor his breathing. That's the bar on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side is the EKG, which is his heart rate. So Warren Stillwell, you see it on the right-hand side there. On the pace laps, about 105, oh, it jumps up to 120. Our second onboard camera this afternoon is carried by the man you met earlier, Neil Tilbor, in the Tyco RC car. He is an inventor of toys. One of his most famous, of course, is the Dancing Elvis which starts to dance when your phone rings. Very interesting racetrack here, David Hobbs.
Well, it is. It looks fairly simple. Just a big rectangle with that spur up into turn number 1, so you're left with 8 turns. But that turn 5 and 6, that is very, very tricky. A downhill, very fast downhill approach. Left, right-hand sweep, and right between the 2 corners, the road starts to go uphill again. And as they come down that front straightaway here, all 44 of them to take the green flag.
Here they go, about 109 horsepower each. Ford Escort engine and gearboxes, and Robert Munn from the pole begins to sneak down that inside line. Look at Keith Sharp comes down the inside, David. Good
Boy,
move.
Keith Sharp in that Valvoline car swoops down the inside as they all file through turn 1 without incident, which is great. 10 there, Munn in second spot. Keith Sharp making a terrific start there and going through those first 2 corners very, very fast, giving it a bit of a breathing space between himself and the rest of the field. Extreme to that left-hand turn 3. Out of turn 4, now we've got a long downhill straight with those S's coming up, those very daunting S's.
Warren Stillwell got a bad start. He went from the front row. Look at crash damage there towards the back of the field, but Stillwell is down at least in 5th place. He was a non-finisher yesterday as we begin to go back into the pack. On board now with Warren Stillwell. This is one of the very difficult braking zones.
That's turn 7 out onto the short straightaway before turn 8, which of course is a very critical corner because this corner coming up here leads onto the main front straightaway. This is where the drafting and overtaking goes on down to turn 1. You've got to come off turn 8 good to get into turn 1 in a good position for overtaking.
On board with our 5th place car, Warren Stillwell. Keith Sharp in the Valvoline car is out in the lead. You can see the concrete barriers on each side of these street circuits. Another look at the biocam. You see Warren Stillwell has gone up to 127, 144 beats per minute now for his heart rate. You see his breathing on the left-hand side. We're going to monitor this throughout the day with our biocam information here because it's physically so difficult to drive racing cars. Racing drivers are athletes. Keith Sharp has a little bit of daylight between him and his pursuers. We'll be back with more right here from St. Petersburg.
I do not drive to work. I do not drive to get from point A to point B. I do not drive to run away from the world. I just love to drive.
The new 1997 Monte Carlo. Personal space. From genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust.
On the streets of St. Petersburg, the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series. That was a view from the back of Warren Stillwell's car. There he is, number 28. He has just gone by B.J. Zacharias, and he now chases down Robert Mumm, who was our pole sitter, who's chasing down Keith Sharp in the Valvoline car, who was the winner here on Speed Vision at the Reno race, the last race of the last season. This racing is so close here, David, designed to be like this, but it is difficult if you fall back to make headway.
It's almost impossible. And Keith Sharp made a tremendous start. He really did and has maintained that lead ever since. He got pressured badly a couple of laps ago by Robert Mumm. The lead change did not come off, and Sharp has now got, for this sort of racing, a huge lead over Robert Mumm in the 10 car, who's now under a lot of pressure from Stillwell. That's where Stillwell slapped the wall yesterday. He was running very strongly in yesterday's race, clipped the wall on the exit of turn 1. Out of turn 3 on the pit straight here. Sun now shining brightly as they come down to turn 4. This is an important corner. This is what caught Jim Goffrey out yesterday. He clipped that inside wall and pounded the outside wall. You want to come out of there really well because you've got a long, fast downhill straight, then the very fast S's, and you want to maintain some real momentum through there. If you have to lift or lose speed there, a killer on time.
So right now, Keith Sharp has things going his way because of this battle here for second, third, and fourth. Zacharias bringing up fourth. There's Goffrey right there, the new nose on his car that he rebuilt from yesterday. This is 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. And
Parigi in the 77, Tilbor right behind him, the 8 car. behind him is the 32 car of Denny Markline.
Here's Neil Tilborn, the Tyco RC vehicle, that brightly colored car. But here's the long line.
Ooh, Robert Mumm has caught Keith Sharp up now as they come into that turn 1 area again.
Mike Buck, see him dropping back a little bit. That was Godfrey. Here's the battle we just watched. Look at number 32 come down the inside. Danny Markland. Danny pulls it off. Pulls it off. Marigi has to let him go.
On board now with Neil Tilmore into car number 8 again into that turn 4 area. You've got to get as close to that wall as you can without actually hitting it. As Jim Godfrey found out yesterday. Here we are coming down to the S's. That very quick left-right sweeping pair of corners.
Big bump in the middle of that corner there. These cars doesn't affect them that much. They're relatively softly sprung. 84 is off.
Peter Pope in number 84. He qualified 41st, so his day's not doing too good.
Says thanks to the workers. That may be the track workers who are probably the unsung heroes of street races like this. Look at this here. Robert Mumm's in the lead, and there is a drag race going down this front straight, trying to keep
Stillwell going down Sharp.
So Keith Sharp goes from a comfortable lead all the way back to third in less than a lap. Robert Mumm in one of the best prepared cars in the series. His brother Peter's an engineer. They work and build this car together, work on and build the car together. He was on the pole, so we know he does have the speed. Can he pull it off? On board with Stillwell. That was a rear view. This is the front view from Warren Stillwell's car. As our leaders come across some traffic, that may present an opportunity now for Stillwell, who went from the front row of the grid back into the pack. Now he slowly crept his way back up again. So the two leading cars on the grid, first and second, are running first and second. And Keith Sharp, who was third in the grid, is now third in the race.
Wow, that 75 car here is not giving any breaks considering he's being lapped. So this could shuffle the field up a little bit now as they work their way around him.
Jim Lewis needs to move over. He can stay on that outside, just back out of the power just a little bit. He's waved his arm. He sees the leaders. Let them all through. This is a ding-dong here, a humdinger. Stillwell still chases. Robert Mumm is trying to break the draft. There's our onboard camera on top of the roll bar of Warren Stillwell's car, number 28. So Keith Sharp tries to make his way back to the lead, but Warren Stillwell wants it. But it's hot and heavy here between the concrete walls of St. Petersburg.
Here comes one. Oh, an 87 Buick station wagon.
Got it.
74 Volkswagen Beetle. A 285 horsepower V8 6-speed 1997 Chevy Camaro Z28.
Yeah, but what color?
If you love cars, boats, planes, or motorcycles, Speed Vision hits you with the best in automotive, aviation, and marine programming. Speed Vision is cable's fastest growing network. Don't let it pass you by.
Welcome back to Speed Vision's coverage of the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series. We're on board with Neil Tilbor. Not only do we have a camera on him, but we also monitor through Biocam his heart rate and his breathing. The bottom of your screen, you see the EKG readout. Heartbeat is 144 beats per minute. Breathing is on the left-hand side. You see he's relatively stable in that condition. Believe it or not, the Biocam has shown us that racing drivers do hold their breath when they get themselves in trouble, and they do consistently have heartbeat rates above 140 to 150. What is Keith Sharp doing here? He's being pushed. I believe he is being pushed.
By yesterday's winner, Leo Capaldi in the 68 car.
Well, this is a bit of a dice here. These cars are so even, believe it or not. they have built more than 700 examples of these sports cars. They cost $22,500 apiece. They're built in Denver. SCCA came up with the concept and the design. One of the cars in this race, I believe, BJ Zacharias is number 127, which was built back in 1984. The newest car here is John Annis, and his car number is 727. I don't know whether I've ever known a number of racing cars built into the 700s.
They never normally get beyond about 5.
In traffic again, that's car number 84. Is that Peter Pope again? We saw him earlier. Yeah. Peter Pope, we saw him spin earlier. He's got the thanks workers sign on the back of it. Keith Sharp now in trouble. Has to try and go around the outside, as did Warren Stillwell. Stillwell did not finish yesterday. Very disappointed, was not a finisher. Look at Leo Capaldi. Leo Capaldi right behind Keith Sharp. A winner from yesterday. He'll have his work cut out for him, David, to make himself a winner again today, because Robert Mumm and Stillwell just seem to be able to keep that nice little cushion up ahead.
Well, he'll have a tremendous job to get to the front, although Robert Mumm just coming up to lap another car there into that turn 7 area, so that might bunch the field up just a little bit. Capaldi still hounding Keith Sharp in the 6th car there, and of course right behind them Leo Capaldi. So it's a very close race here for 3rd, 4th and 5th.
Zacharias is still in 5th. Mike Buck is 6th. And Goffrey, who's our reigning champion, is back there in 7th place, trying to make his way to the front. There's BJ Zacharias, quick peep at him. Look at Keith Sharp again. Here goes Capaldi down into the braking zone. Can he pull this off?
He pulled out just about the right time. Yes, he has got pound Keith Sharp. Keith Sharp thinking of having another go himself. Now he's going to make it the long way around. Locks up, so whoa. A lot of opposite lock there. That means lifting out of the throttle. That will lose him a lot of time and momentum. So that was a good move on Capaldi's part. So now he's going to try and wind in Warren Stillwell in that 3 car.
But good car control by Keith Sharp there, because he realized he was about to go off the road, kept it sideways for long enough, had enough road, and then continued on his way. Back to 77, that is Johnny Marigi. Battle for 10th place here. Marigi right in the middle of it, as he has been most of the afternoon. So even though this is not the leading pack, there is still dice is going all the way back here. That's Neil Brown Jr., number 71. You see him in the blue car at the tail end of that pack.
23 car there is John Bowden. So he's in that pack, the 71 car. Ooh, an unnumbered car coming up now.
Tire squeal. That's all the microphones we have placed around the racetrack. You hear the tire squeal as they fight for grip. David Donovan's there. That's David Donovan, number 65, the purple car. So there is action and incidents all the way back down through these fields. That's Rodney Thompson. Capaldi won yesterday. He has his work cut out from today.
It's Subaru all-wheel drive days. Now is the time to hit the ground running. Pick up a Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon, or its younger cousin, the Outback Sport. Like every Subaru, you'll get the rugged traction and control of all-wheel drive, so you can grab the road when you hit the road. It's Subaru all-wheel drive days.
Check out the full line of all-wheel drive cars from Subaru, including my Outback.
If watching the race on TV just isn't good enough anymore, and what you're really looking for is a little excitement on your weekends, then maybe it's time you discovered racing the SCCA way. The Sports Car Club of America is your ticket to the pit lane and the fast lane. If you'd like SCCA membership information, call this toll-free number, 1-800-972-6662.
Keith Sharp now running 4th. Can't get back to the lead. He was our early leader, looked to be in control. In fact, had a big cushion of a lead before these boys came into attack mode. Look at Capaldi, had a little peek down the inside in the very bumpy braking zone. So he is challenging and now filling the rear view mirrors of Warren Stillwell. We're on board with Stillwell right here, rear view camera.
And of course, time is running out. Overtaking people in this racing is a long, drawn-out business. I mean, it takes you like 3 or 4 laps to set somebody up because you know your good points, you know their bad points, you know their good position. And you've really got to just get everything clicked right into place and not lose any momentum. Closing right up now under braking, going down to turn 1.
I was in the slipstream, but look what Warren Stillwell did. He moved across to the right side of the track, locks up the brakes. Here he goes. Capaldi's going to make a move here. And he gets it. He pulls it off.
Well, Stillwell locked up. We saw the smoke come out of his brakes. That's where Stillwell hit the wall yesterday. And of course, again, lost vital momentum and look, slipped right back into the clutches now of Keith Sharp in the number 6 car.
Keith Sharp now is around right all over the back of Warren Stillwell. He now knows his weak area. Stillwell blocked the inside and could not make the corner himself and opened the door wide for Leo Capaldi, who now can maybe chase down Robert Mumm. Let's have a replay to see exactly what happened. But Stillwell lost the position by trying to keep it. David?
Well, there you see him. He locked up going into the corner, got wide, and left that door wide open. Capaldi had already tried to outbrake him. Looked like he got blocked off, but in the end, he slid down the inside as Stillwell went wide. Same corner that yesterday Stillwell hit the outside wall there and lost his rear panel. So, not a good corner for Stillwell this weekend. Now, Capaldi, of course, the thing is, what he's got to do now is try and wind in our leader, Robert Mumm. That's not going to be easy.
Because with these boys, as long as they squabble among themselves, Robert Mumm will look good and maybe can build up on this cushion. John Bisignano?
Well, we're with one of the real Mumm brothers. We're with Barry Mumm, brother of Robert Mumm. Your car has been lightened. You have a computer that knows every inch of this chassis. It looks like it's paying off for you now.
Yeah, we've worked hard at understanding the technology on this car, and yeah, it looks like it's paying off.
But you're making a spec racer into a totally different class. I've never seen anyone so far out ahead in one of these events.
Well, you should watch Warren sometimes. He can make it look the same. We're just having a good day today.
Going to try and keep that good day going down here, fellas.
There's Robert Mumm, nice cushion. Here are these boys here. Oh, Capaldi gets it sideways, and he loses the position.
Locks up those rear brakes in braking for that turn 7. Lost a bit of speed, which allowed Stillwell to pull up alongside him and hold him out from going through the corner. So Stillwell in front now as they come into that turn 1 area again.
Not only could we see that, we could hear that. We could hear those Yokohamas squeal. And Keith Sharp may take advantage here. Can he follow Stillwell through? Yes, he does.
So Keith Sharp, our early leader, temporarily dropped to 4th. Now he's back to 3rd.
Valvoline sponsored car. Somebody from this group has to break away if they stand a chance of catching Robert Mumm, or else Robert Mumm has to get in trouble lapping traffic, and the leader has to be a little bit more careful. These boys could possibly take a gamble, whereas the leader doesn't. Well, there's no traffic there, Davis. He looks clear.
Well, the only traffic we've got now is a 21 car, which is now in front of Robert Mumm's pursuers. So that's going to make life even better for Mr. Mumm.
Ladiniski, Steve Ladiniski in number 21. He knows the leading car went through. He needs to pull aside. He doesn't do it. Oh, Stillwell's in trouble. Warren Stillwell. Well. What happened there? Did he think that?
I think Stillwell thought that Ladiniski was going to give him room. He didn't, and of course it was all too late.
So you see the perspiration on his back. It was a hard day's work that comes to nothing. Stillwell is out. Can Capaldi or Sharp catch the leader?
If you're a real car enthusiast, you should be reading Auto Week every week. For true car lovers, once a month is not enough.
Auto Week has the latest news because it's a weekly. You can stay up on top of everything.
All the new models, concept cars, SUVs, even collector cars are in Auto Week every week.
Auto Week will give you information on new models that really isn't available anywhere else.
All the racing news and analysis you could ever want when it's still hot.
I'm into going racing with my buddies, and Auto Week gives us information to talk about before it's old news.
Anything with wheels, Auto Week has.
Call 1-800-232-1502 now for a full year of Auto Week at the special TV price. Just $24.95 for 52 big issues.
If you're as serious about cars as I am, you've got to be reading Auto Week.
Call 1-800-232-1502 for the special TV price on Auto Week. Call now to get Auto Week every week.
If you only had time for one car magazine, Auto Week would be the one to read.
Call now.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
Vortec, the most powerful line of engines ever in a Chevy truck.
Like a rock.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Welcome back to the battle for second place now. Keith Sharp has managed to haul himself past Leo Capaldi, but they're beginning to squabble again among themselves, and Robert Mumm must be delighted, David, to see this tussle go on in his mirrors.
The best view he can have in his mirrors, these two guys going into turn one side by side, because it doesnn't do either of them much good. Warren Stillwell, we lost. It looked like a brake lock. He went off the road at number 8, went down the escape road, and they couldn't push it away. We can only assume there's some mechanical malfunction. So this is a tight battle for second, and the more they battle, the better Robert Mumm in the lead likes it.
John Bisignano?
We're with Jeff Meyer down in the Neil Tilboard pit. You are in radio communication with your driver, and unfortunately you saw him just get past one more time. What's up?
Right now we're suffering from gearbox problems. We've only got 2 gears. He was just on the radio with me, and I'm not sure which 2 he has, but that's why we're dropping back.
Gearbox has gone away in the number 8 car, guys.
Well, you need more than 2 gears to drive around a street circuit, because particularly this one, the straight is so long. You have to have that top gear, and then these tight corners are second or third gear, so that is a huge
disadvantage. 15th spot at the moment, so Neil Tilbour not having a very good day with our camera. He started in 11th and has dropped back to 15th. White flag there, 1 lap to go down to the line, so these two guys are going to have a titanic battle here for second spot on this last lap. Side by side into turn 1. Sharp's got the line.
Great stuff here as they go wheel to wheel. Robert Mumm is clear in the lead. Zacharias has been dropped. He is in 4th. Mike Buck is 5th. Willis is 6th. But this is the battle here. Who will finish second? They will both go on the podium if they happen to get around without banging off each other, sticking somebody in the wall. But this is our battle here. There's our leader. Robert Mumm has it wrapped up. Second place, still being hounded by Leo Capaldi.
Leo Capaldi had one of the great lines yesterday afternoon when he was in the pit lane. We could hear him over the audio. He pulled up in pit lane having won the race and said, "Where do I go?" Didn't know where winner's circle is. He's a bit more familiar with it now, and it looks like he's going to get on the podium somewhere, as you say, but Mumm has got a big lead as they come into that final turn 8 for the final time. So these two guys have basically got no chance of catching him up. Whoa, into turn 8 there. I don't know what Sharp's doing there.
What is he doing? Waving his fist. Look at this.
Oh, he's got a problem.
Run to the finish. A run to the finish, and Leo Capaldi is going to beat Keith Sharp across the line for second place as Robert Mumm takes the flag for victory, and Capaldi pulls it off to second.
Sharp must have had a problem, I think, and threw his arm up to warn Capaldi. That's all I can think.
Well, that was a surprise. This is the last corner, which is turn 8, coming onto this long front straight. Watch closely here. Oh, he hits him.
Let's get down to the pits. And John Bisignano. John?
Would you rather be out front leading like that and have your your mirrors filled full of other cars, or fighting your way through? Which is the best for you?
Well, I usually stay in touch in the first part of the race, thinking it'll come to me. Some of these guys are pretty tough, Warren and Leo and Keith. And once I got out in front with the lap traffic, it really made it easier for me. And I didn't get cut up much. They did. They're also fighting amongst each other, which really helps me out.
Congratulations.
So the action is now finished from the Spec Racer Ford Pro Series here at St. Petersburg. It was in the sunshine, and Robert Mumm, with the help of his engineering brother Peter, comes home a winner. Leo Capaldi is second. Keith Sharp rounds out the top 3. BJ Zacharias came through to finish 4th. Mike Buck was 5th. Willis was 6th, and there was Donovan. Marigi in 8th. Markline in 9th, and then our national champion Godfrey, who did not have a good day, finally drags it home into the top 10. David Hobbs, final comments?
Well, Robert Mumm finished 36th here last year, first today, so Robert Mumm's year looking pretty good with those titanium bolts.
Yes, indeed. When you prepare the car well and you put a good driver in it, there's no magic to being successful. That's what Robert Mumm showed us this afternoon in St. Petersburg. So long from Speed Vision.